Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, this is an important week. A lot of things we're bringing up, but nothing more important than the bill that is supposed to address the Affordable Care Act, as it was called, but it's kind of tough to call it that since it's been completely unaffordable for so many. So many lost their health insurance and lost their doctor. Some lost the medication that they were taking before. It's now no longer approved under their new policy. So it's been a very difficult period of time as Obamacare has been hoisted on the country. Came so close to not passing. And every Republican that I'm aware of has promised, you give us the majority in both houses and the president, and we will repeal it. I believe Majority Leader McConnell said we'll repeal it, rip it out, root and branch. Republican leaders, I believe, mentioned lock, stock, and barrel. And I have such great respect for my friends who were just speaking here. But I've got a real problem with the bill. We're told there will be 3 phases, 3 buckets, 3 stages, whatever you want to call it. The first will be to pass this bill. It leaves in place the parts of Obamacare that caused insurance to skyrocket. It's leaving in place part of Obamacare that caused deductibles to rise from very little to thousands and thousands of dollars beyond so many Americans' ability to ever reach. So that the insurance, they're paying them money every month, but they realize I don't have $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to pay the deductible. Therefore, I'm really paying for nothing. Especially young people have found this. We're told that it's because the Senate has what they refer to as the Byrd rule that would not allow us to take the part that's not currently in the bill regarding all the regulations. We're told that the Byrd rule, and we've looked into it apparently, if a bill is moving under reconciliation, as this is, then in the Senate, in essence, it must do more than affect the budget incidentally, must materially affect the budget. And yet we know that if we repeal all of the part that's being put off for stage 2 or 3, but particularly stage 2, the regulations that were put in place by the Obama administration, the regulatory authority that was given to them, by putting that off, it means the prices that dramatically skyrocketed, they're not going to skyrocket down. We're told, well, they may go up some, but, we think there's a good chance they'll come down 10%. But for my constituents, so many of which either lost their insurance or now paying for skyrocketing prices 2, 3, 4 times or more what they used to pay, a 10% drop will not be a help at all. Their deductibles will not be coming down anytime soon. But we're told, though, with the regulatory reform that my good friend Secretary Tom Price will do, that will be the phase, the stage, the bucket that will drop the prices. But when I read through, and I know some people say 2,700 pages, my two-part, and I've gotten 2 copies, and they're both around 2,500 pages. So unless there's 200 pages I never found, I did read the bill more than once. And someone said 1,400 times. I don't know. I know it's a lot. The Secretary of Health and Human Services is given wide discretion in putting in place rules and regulations to implement the act. We've heard that there will no doubt be immediately litigation filed, lawsuits filed, try to overturn the regulations that are put in place by Secretary Price. Well, since I've had experience in litigation, including federal litigation, federal appeals, what would be the issue? Well, the issue would be whether or not the Secretary of Health and Human Services has authority to create regulations that will, in effect, completely destroy the bill so that eventually the prices will come back down. The deductibles eventually will come back down. That's what, we're told. And I trust Secretary Price will do everything within his power to make this happen. So Secretary Price will come forward with regulations that will emasculate the bill, emasculate Obamacare. Litigation is filed. Ultimately, at some point, it will come back to a judge, an appellate judge. As a state district judge, I handled cases and matters that I knew were going to be appealed. As a Chief Justice of an appellate court, made those decisions, sat in on discussions with other justices. And so it seems I'm in a good position to potentially analyze what would happen on appeal. We know the Secretary has wide discretion promulgating the regulations, the rules, to bring about the implementation and the intent of the AHCA, Obamacare. But the question will be on appeal, does the Secretary of Health and Human Services authority under the bill to render it meaningless? Now, I'm not aware of justices at appellate level who are a great deal more conservative than I was, but I believed in following the law, even though I at times didn't like the law, would not legislate from the bench. And in a case such as this, you would look, well, yes, the Secretary should have wide discretion to implement the intention of the bill, see that it's carried out, but it would certainly seem the more powerful argument, perhaps most likely the winning argument, will be, yes, but he doesn't have discretion to kill the bill. He has discretion, wide discretion, to implement the bill and carry out the intent of the bill. And I just can't help but think again back to words from my late friend, Justice Scalia. We'll see how the week plays out. I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
This time I move we do